Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt, and welcome back to Far Lands or Bust. As you can see, as is indicated by the blue bed, which was previously red, I have re-enabled the old texture pack. Get out of here, make sure I'm safe. So I've gone back to the... Oh, look at all those creepers. Look at them creeping. I've gone back to the... somebody made me a custom texture pack. A cross between... What happened to all my dirt? Did I drop all my dirt? Kurt dropped all his dirt. Yoink. A combination of the Better Default and Alternacraft. What are these things called? Texture packs. So I know the last few episodes I said, oh, I gotta re-enable that because I disabled it while I was testing out 1.8. But now it's back. So we're going to have some additional visual stimulation. Ooh, my voice cracked there. Hello! I'm still going through puberty. But anyway, yeah, it's still Saturday. I'm actually recording this episode, episode 82, directly after I up... And obviously, my mouth is getting tired of talking. I'm recording this directly after the previous episode, episode 81, just because I want to get ahead here. I want to keep the videos coming, and in appreciation for all the contributions coming into farlandsorbust.com for Child's Play charity. Oh god, that scared me. I don't know what I thought Wolfie was, but he just spawned right in front of me, and it kind of freaked me out. But yeah, I just want to keep the videos coming so I don't run out of content here for you guys. Careful. Oh, didn't I just say I needed wool? So very, very scatterbrained. Yoink. It helps if it is all the same color so it doesn't take up so many inventory slots. Oh, that guy's all the way out there. Yeah, come over here. I need your wool. No, come back. Yoink. Okay. Okay, continuing on. Sorry. Oop, and I just like totally blew into the microphone. Sorry about that. Anyway, continuing on. I was kind of running out of questions there to answer, but I just, in between recording the last and this video, posted up on my Twitter account. I'm like, hey, I need to answer some questions. Give me something to talk about. So I got like a whole bunch of responses. So now I'm pretty much set for the next few episodes, I think. But one of the things that actually a lot of people were asking me about, but I forgot to mention in the last episode, so it's not as timely anymore, but people were asking about the satellite, as I'm sure you've heard. There was a decommissioned satellite of NASA's that was re-entering the Earth's atmosphere uncontrollably. And it was on the news, and obviously everybody's like, oh, the sky is falling, it's the end of the world, it's going to fall on my house. But yeah, that's very unlikely that would happen. But anyway, yeah, it's known as the UARS, the Upper Atmosphere Research Satellite, was decommissioned. It was actually a scientific satellite that was studying the effects and the changes in our ozone layer and things like that. And people are saying, oh, there's a problem with it or something like that. No, it was actually decommissioned a while ago in 2005. It was actually launched way before then. It was only planned for a mission to last 3 years, but it lasted and was doing some good science for a good 14 years. So, it's just like the rovers currently on Mars. We certainly get a lot of bang for our buck out of the NASA research and missions. But that's a different topic. This is about the satellite. Basically, in 2005, it was decommissioned, and it was given a command to lower its orbit with a burn. That lowered its orbit in anticipation of having it re-enter. But it takes a while to re-enter the atmosphere, and so that was back in 2005. And of course, after that, all of its systems were shut down. So basically, any re-entry it was going to have was going to be uncontrolled, because without any systems or engines or anything, Wolfie, there you are. Without any systems or motors to burn, you can't really pinpoint where it's going to land. So just last night is when it was finally coming down, and they didn't know where it was going to land, basically, and whether or not it did land. They know a lot of the pieces obviously are just going to burn up in the atmosphere and never make it to the ground, but they knew it consisted of a few fairly large sized parts. The satellite as a whole was about the size of a school bus, if you can believe it, but they knew there were some hardened parts and things that could potentially make it through, and there would have been, and it does at times, travel over populated areas. It went over, in the last few orbits of its existence, it went over Canada a couple times and the West Coast, and then Africa a few times, but the chances of anything bad like that happening are slim to nil. But they were certainly keeping a track on it, and still, this morning, they don't know exactly where it went down. They think it went down over the Pacific just before it would have crossed Canada, sometime about midnight last night on September 23rd and morning the 24th. But they're still trying to pinpoint, and we actually may never know where it came down, especially over the ocean. I mean, the world is obviously covered mostly in ocean, so the chances are it's going to be an ocean. But of course, once you lose it in ocean, any sort of recoverable items or anything like that would be impossible to find, especially the Pacific. So, yeah, that's kind of what happened. And that actually is a lot more common than you think. This satellite was pretty large, but I think either a satellite or some sort of significant space debris comes through the Earth's atmosphere about once per day. We just never hear about it because it's usually insignificant. They burn up in the atmosphere and never hit the ground. But yeah, it's actually a pretty common thing. The media and everybody kind of latched onto this one because it was a little bit of a bigger deal. It was a little bit bigger of a satellite. And it was certainly of interest to NASA and things like that. So yeah, there's some fake videos up of people saying that, oh, here's the reentry, but they've actually mistakenly recorded Jupiter, which is just sitting there in the sky, but or something, or they're just spoof, or like, oh, here's a piece of it. But no, anything that you've seen so far is probably fake. But that would have been amazing to see kind of the reentry. I know a lot of people they had some footage of when Mir came down over the Pacific. That was more controlled. They actually had, fuel and thrusters and stuff on the Mir space station in order to bring it down in a specific place. But even that it's no specific, things happen. The Earth's gravity field is wobbly and bumpy, so you can never fully predict what's going to happen. But yeah, that's basically all that was. It's obviously something that needed to be done, and so far it sounds like it went off safely and without any damage to property or anybody. So that was really cool. But it's a good thing that this was kind of parkour to you. Oh, Wolfie can't parkour. It's kind of nice to have all this attention put on NASA and science and space missions, and it's more than just going to Mars or going to the International Space Station. There's all these other things going on in NASA, so it's kind of good that it got the kind of attention, even though sometimes a lot of that is false worry and oh, look at what NASA's doing to us, they're dropping stuff on our heads, blah 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 blah. So anyway, but yeah, I think no big deal. It was just kind of a neat thing. I was kind of up last night everybody was up on Twitter trying to be like, ooh, does anybody see it? And let's wait for the news. But it's going to be a while before if at all, we know where it came down. It's going to be a while for them to figure that out. But yeah, it's kind of cool. And yeah, I mean, just in terms of satellites, if you go out to a dark site, or even if you want to look at the International Space Station, you can see satellites in the sky. They just appear like unblinked. They look like little pinpoints of light, like stars, but they just slowly move across the sky. Obviously, the space station is extremely bright, but even out at a dark site, you can see satellites. Some of them are. It was kind of a few times ago when I was out at the dark site with my astronomy club. It was kind of cool. You can see what are known as constellations of satellites. They're either like communication satellites, or some of them can be spy satellites, Department of Defense satellites. But there's like in a triangle, they're all moving at the same speed and the same motion. They could have either all been launched by the same rocket or independently, just to have them in the same configuration. And of course, there's the commonly known, commonly known, except I can't remember the name of them. The Iridium telescopes, satellites, which are kind of satellite cell communications. They're set up there, and they have they give off what's known as an iridium flare. It's just the type of material they're made out of and the type of solar panels that they have, where you can see them in the sky, and if you pinpoint it right enough, Wolfie, where are you at? There you are. And if you pinpoint your location enough, you can find that, oh, there's going to be an iridium flare at this point and right this point in the sky. And just for a couple seconds, they will get really bright and quote-unquote flare in the sky, just the way they're reflecting the sunlight. So that's really cool. But yeah, it was this satellite that came down was nothing to worry about. It's all good in the hood. Sorry. I will never say that again. But yeah, let me make this old hidey hole here. So yeah, thanks for all the questions about that. I didn't follow it that much until the last few days, so I don't have all this inside information or anything. So you can certainly go to the Wikipedia page or NASA's website to check that stuff out if you want to learn more. Oh, I need to get wood next time. Do this and make a bed. Make a bed. Wood and, well, I'm okay on the wool, but I should still pick up wool when I can. Let me do that. Let me go to sleep. And I just realized I forgot to break the workbench, but whatever. Plunk. And I cannot pick it up. There we go. Creepers. No, just a mountain cow. And, okay, I need to get some trees, actually, because I can't make a boat. Let me cover this back up. Bing. Looks like the trees are over here. And I have an X. I have 2 X's. XI. So yes. Let's see. Somebody asked, because as I said, I'm an ex-web developer, web designer. They asked, what kind of development code do I use? PHP, ASP? And do I use any application development software languages? No and no. I was I guess what you could more appropriately call a web designer on the front end. So that means I'm mostly dealt with HTML and CSS. A little bit of JavaScript. I usually just work with JavaScript libraries. You know, of pre-made stuff, because I'm not... Look at all these sticks. I should have made those into torches, I guess. Torches. Torches. Bing. Oh, now I have excess torches. Damn it! God dang it. Ah, brother. What can I get rid of here? I guess I can make these all into wooden planks. There we go. Okay, I guess this is going to be kind of a multi-step process. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can mess with pre-made somebody's PHP if they, includes or, systems and things like that, but I'm not a back-end programmer. I don't know any of that stuff, and it's kind of, it seems like, and I knew this from the get-go, but when you look at jobs, like full-time jobs, not just freelance jobs, in web design and stuff like that, it seems like either companies just have the wrong idea, or they expect you to be, first of all, a designer, like you can design and be art, do the art stuff. They also want you to be a web programmer, but they also want you to be like a back-end developer. And I know there are people who are like that, and they're the ones making all the big bucks, but it's really hard to get that all in the same package, because a lot of times somebody will teach themselves the back-end programming, and they'll be really good at, the awesome programmy, science, nerdy stuff. But, they don't have a lick of design sense, they're not going to know anything about, leading and text and page layout and things like that. Whereas in my case, I was more into the design, the graphic design side, so that's kind of more, I kind of went more with the HTML, which is kind of leads itself more to that. Look at all these pigs swimming in the sea. I have enough meat. But yeah, that I always found to be weird about the industry in and of itself. But hopefully not really my problem anymore. Anyway, yes, thank you for that question, certainly. Hold on a sec. I need some refreshing water. Filled me right up. So smooth. I think I'm going to save some of these questions for future episodes. A lot of people wonder other things that interest me other than video games and astronomy. Obviously, I talk about astronomy a lot, and Minecraft a lot, obviously, since that's what we're playing. But something I guess I could talk about. I recently got into, just this past year, past 5 or 6 months, is it was kind of brought on. I found a blog and it's kind of they do videos also called Put This On, and it's a blog about dressing like a grown-up, aimed at us guys. But basically, and if those of you who remember a few episodes ago, I was talking about body spray and how terrible it is. There was a quote I used in that where I was saying about cologne. You should only wear enough cologne to be smelled within the embrace of a lover, and you should only wear enough body spray to be smelled by no one, because body spray is terrible. That quote I actually got from Put This On, so sorry I'm not as original as you much thought I was. But yeah, they have a series of videos, and they're going to start season 2 as well. They just completed a Kickstarter program that they got fully funded for season 2. But they also do a blog at putthison.com. It's actually kind of a Tumblr blog, but it's all about, obviously these days you see, what kind of a biome is this? There's clay, there's sand, there's snow. It's a crazy upside-down land is what this is. There's roses. What was I saying? So yeah, anyway, starting off with that and just reading a lot of other stuff, another interest of mine that has come up is kind of transforming my wardrobe, I guess. I mean, I'm not terribly young, or I'm not as young as some of you guys are. I'm 29 years old. But up until now, I've pretty much been dressing like the typical 20-year-old, same as I was through college or something like that. Maybe a little bit, I guess, neater than I guess you could say some people dress. I'm not, like I said, I hate flip-flops. I'm a shoe person. Usually jeans and a button-up shirt or a hoodie or something like that. But just based on Put This On and there's a whole community on Tumblr about, I guess you can call it men's style, I guess, if you want to give it that branding. Not fashion. Fashion is completely different. Fashion is like, the fads and the weird, crappy, crazy stuff people make for fashion shows. Not that, but actual, like, stuff you can actually wear outside in public. But yeah, from Put This On, and it was actually started by, for those of you who know NPR, rather popular broadcaster Jesse Thorne. But it all talks about, just the basics of dressing like a grown-up. And it's something I'm kind of slowly transforming my wardrobe. More often I'm tucking in my shirt. Instead of getting pre-faded jeans, I have, nice dark rigid jeans that I'm actually breaking in myself. Basically just because those pre-faded jeans, you wear them and you didn't put those fades in, so they don't really match up with the way your knee bends or what you have in your pockets and things like that. So if you buy like a selvage or a rigid dark jean and then wear it in yourself, it kind of becomes your pair of jeans, over a year or so of wearing. But anyway, I digress. I don't want to get too specific. But yeah, that's kind of become an interest of mine, and holy crap, it's a double tree all the way across the sky. It's so beautiful. Wow, that's kind of crazy. I don't even know what's going on. It's the tree of life. But yeah, that's kind of become an interest of mine. And it's kind of interesting, the way I think somebody said, I'm not sure if it was Put This On or one of the other blogs, but for a while there, ever since kind of in the 60s, it became kind of the rebellious thing to do was to kind of dress down, and you don't want to be like the man dressing in his suit, working for the man, but it kind of started to become the rebellious thing to do was to not dress up in suit and tie every day and stuff like that, and that kind of carried through the 80s and the 90s and stuff like that. But now, since it seems everybody dresses very casually, And by casually, I mean, jeans and a t-shirt, or, walking around in flip-flops and shorts, or, in gym shoes, stuff like that. That's what I'm terming casual. But it seems like now, since everybody pretty much, at least in American society, dresses like that, it's the quote-unquote rebellious thing to do is to, like, dress up and kind of maybe before you head out, put on a blazer and a tie or something like that, even if you're just going to the post office or the grocery store or something like that. So that really kind of, I'm like, that kind of makes sense. That kind of piqued my interest. But, so yeah, that's kind of something I'm into. And I bring this up because I recently dropped a little bit of cash on Brooks Brothers, and there's this it's Land's End, but it's kind of their youthful line, Land's End Canvas. Recently had a 25% off kind of coupon sale, so I'm like, got there and got some essential things. And it's just something, and I know a lot of you are a lot younger than me, and I'm not like saying, oh, if you don't dress up like this, you're a horrible person. But it's just something, I guess it could be fun, it's not like, I know there's kind of a stigma of if there's a guy who dresses up nice that, they're like, what are they, fancy or something like that? And not that there's anything wrong with that either. I'm digging myself into a hole. But it's just, why, I still don't like shopping, basically. I do all my shopping on the internet, so I'm not like going out on the town and shopping or anything like that. But that's mostly due to my hatred of being around large crowds of people and less about being in stores. But anyway, that's just something that has been an interest of mine recently, and it's kind of, I don't know, I think it kind of improves my outlook on myself as well. Even though I'm not particularly an incredibly fit person, and I don't, go out of spend all day trying to look fancy and awesome, but it's just, and now especially that I don't have a job right now, it kind of feels like I have something important to do, somewhere to be, where even though I'm staying at home, I'm still putting on a pair of khakis and a button-down shirt or something, So that, I just want to talk about that for a little bit, just because it was on my mind, and you guys always ask and wonder, who is Kurt? What kind of person is he? What is his credit card information so I can buy an Xbox? No. Oh, there we go. But yeah, that was just kind of a random thing. Nobody really asked about that, but I feel like every once in a while I do talk about astronomy a lot, so I wanted to give kind of a different angle. The old Kurt angle. Kurt, isn't that actually somebody's name? It's like a wrestler or something, isn't it? Anyway, I'm going to make a bed because it's the end of the episode here. And I got the extra wooden planks, like I said I would. I still might want to think about stocking up on some more wool, but here's the blue bed. Let me plonk it down. I've already got a boat, so I don't need to make another one. But yeah, let me just say, you can put this on. Also has a channel on YouTube. You can follow them. I'll put a link in an annotation here, and also in the video description if you want to check them out. But mainly they're at putthison.com. They mostly put their videos up on Vimeo. They just kind of duplicate them here on YouTube. But they're a really cool series of videos, and if you're at all interested in that stuff, I'd suggest you check them out. And that would be my recommendation for today. But anyway, let me remind you another plug here to go to farlandsorbust.com to check on the status of our fundraiser for Child's Play charity. Like I said, once we get to 100%, we'll be doing a full 8-hour, 20-minute live stream in celebration. And I'm certainly looking forward to that. That's hopefully coming up soon. I know we're less than 20% the way there, or 20% left to get to 100%. So that's amazing. Thank you, everybody, for your support. But yes, thank you for joining me here today. And certainly leave me any questions or comments in the comments field below. That's why they call it the comment field. Ha ha ha, tip tip. But anyway, my name is Kurt. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time.